Okay, hello everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us in the midst of these difficult times. I hope you're doing well, and I acknowledge the pain and unrest that many of us are experiencing. But I hope today's activities can be taken as a small effort towards building stronger and more interconnected communities through art. So this project is called Shared Dialogue, Shared Space, and it's presented by Korea Art Forum. My name is Naomi Kuo, and I am the co-director of the project, and I'm joined by Heng-Gil Han, the director and founder of Korea Art Forum. He'll be interpreting in Korean today, and Xiaoting Wu will be our Chinese interpreter. Our videographer helping us with Zoom is David Lee. In today's event, there will be 5 half-hour artist presentation and an artist discussion at the end. And the artists are Rejin Leys, Priscilla Statler, Young-Sun Han, Jamery Kim, and Cody Herman. The project is geared towards Flushing as the main audience, and the artists' works invite participation and reflection on different issues around immigrant experiences, living in Queens today, and the relevance of local history. The goal of this project is to encourage more communication between the contemporary art world and immigrant communities in New York City, starting with Chinese and Korean speakers in Flushing. Language barriers often keep people from getting to know one another, so we'll be translating and interpreting as much as we can. As the project title implies, we want to talk about the physical spaces we share. Because of this, I feel it is important to start with a land acknowledgement. So Flushing is part of the traditional land of the Matinecock tribe, and our current experiences and challenges are part of their ongoing history of displacement and marginalization. Okay. The coronavirus has changed many aspects of this project. We had planned this event to take place outdoors at the Margaret Carmen Green Weeping Beach Park in Flushing, where we would have invited park visitors to participate in the artist's works over a whole weekend. The artist discussion was to take place at the Queens Historical Society nearby. And the park is close to many historical sites, which we would have highlighted with some of the artist projects. Instead, today we are calling in from various places, and the presentations will be a mix of live conversations and pre-recorded videos. But we are still grateful to spend time with everyone today and hope that this adapted version can still bring people together in a meaningful way. As a practical note, we would love it if you would ask questions and make comments through the Facebook Livestream comment section. Some artist projects will ask for your live feedback, and there will be a short question and answer portion after each presentation. Feel free to type in Chinese or Korean if that is your first language. Heng-Gil, actually, would you like to say a few words about Korea Art Forum?
Thank you very much, Naomi, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. It is great to see you and meet you all online. Korea Art Forum, KAF in its acronym, was founded in New York in 2013. KAF is a grassroots 501c3 organization operated by a few creative minds with humanities scholars and peace activists. Our mission is to bridge the world through art. Intersecting the visual arts and Korean studies, KAF project aim to critically resist prevailing inequity in institutionalized contemporary art while promoting diversity, inclusivity, equitability, and accessibility. This is done through commission project supporting the creative minds of America, exhibitions of artworks from around the world, bringing people together, forums provoking our audiences to debate relevant topics, and publications in English, Korean, and Chinese in online and offline formats for the English-speaking public and culturally isolated Asian immigrants. All right, so I have many things to say, but then let me stop here. And then just before I go, I would like to thank New York City Department of Cultural Affairs and the New York State Council on the Arts for supporting this program.
Great, thank you very much. So that was our introduction, and now we'll begin the artist presentations. So first, we'll start with Rejin Leys and her project called the Pulp Mobile. Rejin is a mixed media artist and papermaker based in Southeast Queens. So Rejin, can you join me on video? Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Could you start us off with a few words to introduce your project?
Yes. Yes, and thank you, Naomi, Heng-Gil, and Xiaoting, and Korea Art Forum. So good morning, everyone. The Pulp Mobile is my papermaking studio that I roll to public parks. For shared dialogue, shared space, I shredded copies of the poem from the Statue of Liberty to add to the paper that we would have made together. So I rolled the card into my yard in Jamaica, Queens, to make the new Colossus paper, which I can send to viewers after the event. And I think we can roll the video.
More than 100 years ago, Emma Lazarus wrote her poem, The New Colossus, for the Statue of Liberty, to welcome immigrants to this country. Despite today's hostile political climate, the poem is still there, and we are still here. The Pulp Mobile is a paper-making studio on a cart. Before COVID-19 separated us, neighbors were able to come to the Pulp Mobile to work together, learn from each other, and make something new out of something old. Paper is both a material with its own history and culture and a neutral ground that we can add meaning to. We connect with each other by using paper to communicate, even across great distances of time and space. When we buy paper from a store, it is empty and plain, but if we make our own paper, everything we put in can be important. Today's paper includes shredded copies of the new Colossus. I recycled used white and blue paper by pureeing them with a blender, then added the shredded poem to the vat. Each new paper I make has reminders that we are all welcome here. We belong here. We came here to make something new out of something old.
Thank you, Rejin, for showing us your papermaking process and creating this opportunity for us to reflect on so many things, communication, immigration, and resourcefulness even. So we'll open up the next few minutes for any questions from the audience. So please type your questions in the Facebook comment area. There will be a 30-second lag, but we will see it.
Also, I want to share that, so ordinarily when we're working together outside, people make their paper, and the whole project is about having a conversation. So in the video, it was very quiet because it's a very quiet process and very repetitive. But together, you know, we could have had a conversation over the vat, which is the point. But also people take their paper home with them that they make. So since no one got to try the paper making, I made several batches of the New Colossus paper and also added a little extra stuff to it. Hard to see. But I really want to share it with people. So if anyone would like a copy of the paper, I would be happy to send it to you. And I think we can do that if you want a piece of the paper, you could send me your name and address over Messenger, and I will mail you a piece of the paper.
We have our exciting first question from the audience from Julio Castillo. The question
Yes.
is, how often do you make paper?
Thank you, Julio. Actually, since the lockdown began, pretty often, because I've been at home all the time. So I have made paper pretty often this spring. Otherwise, I also draw a lot. So I kind of make a lot of paper and draw when I have paper ready. But before the lockdown, I would roll the card out and I could make paper with people in public. So I look forward to doing that again when this is all over.
Great, thank you. I have a question for you, Rejin. What do you do with all of this paper?
Well, like I said, I draw a lot. So I do draw on paper that I make for myself. But I really love this as a group activity. So since as an artist, I work in isolation a lot before or after the pandemic, right? When I do the activity, it's an opportunity to work with people and it's a very social process that way. So when I make paper with people, people just take their own paper home with them. And I'm always interested in finding out, you know, what they then do. If they like to write, do they write on it? Do they draw on it? Do they just hang it up the way it is?
All right, we have a second exciting question from the audience, from Reese Francis. What type of paper or coloring did you use for the blue color? It is gorgeous.
Thank you. Since all the paper I use is recycled, so I also you can pigment your paper with and there's a special process for that. But since I'm recycling the paper, I also just recycle the color. So this paper is mixture of some white paper and some. I found some dark blue document covers at Materials for the Arts, and also a roll of dark blue paper. So I made a mixture of that, and this paper right here is the darker blue one, and I mixed that in with the white paper. And some of the papers, and you can see behind me, some of them have more of the blue and some have more of the white.
I think that's all the time we have today for Rejin, but you can always save your questions for the very end when we will come back all together for an artist discussion. So we'll move on to Thanks, Rejin.